everyone. My name is Shaun McDonough. I'm the Research and Data Analyst at Markham Public Library in Markham, Ontario. Today, I'm going to give you a presentation that provides an overview of how Markham Public Library has attempted to tackle the digital divide. The theme of today's presentation and the day in general is about change. And that's pretty applicable as a result of what's been going on lately with COVID, obviously with the US election, but with the digital transformation of society and the economy as a whole. So I'm really pleased to be here, really thankful to the team at Environics for having me. So without further ado, literacy is a quintessential characteristic of a prosperous community, any prosperous community. The chart sort of goes into detail of the last 200 years of progress that we've made from a literacy standpoint. But some of the benefits of having a literate community include higher levels of social engagement, increased opportunities for upward mobility, and in those, inherent to that is the digital component, mostly for us, but this is not a singular moment in history, it's another era of change. Another component of literate community are health outcomes, social cohesion, mental health, healthy living behaviors, enhanced sanitation practices, higher levels of health practices and knowledge. And so as a library, our goal, the purpose, our mission statement is to enhance literacy in all its forms to contribute to the health of the community. And libraries have been at the forefront of change for approximately the last 150 years. Starting in the mid 1800s was what's referred to as the Mechanics Institute. And what the Mechanics Institute was a bit of a technology petting zoo at the time for a range of employees and staff and farmers. So for instance, in Markham, the Markham Mechanics Institute in the late 1800s was designed to give farmers the ability to play around with experience and see how modern technology could assist them in increasing their yields, maybe decreasing the number of farm hands they needed, helping them remain competitive with bigger farms and bigger competitors. And then as we sort of move through the 19th century and into the 20th century, many people in the audience might be familiar with the traditional library. And the mission of that library, obviously, was to build traditional literacy skills. And so we sort of fast forward to today, and now we're at another major turning point. World Economic Forum refers to it as the fourth industrial revolution that we're currently going through, and it draws ample parallels to the 19th century. And libraries will be there to promote the health of the communities as we move forward. And the biggest challenge for libraries and communities at this point is the level of digital literacy for communities. Now, just a little couple of numbers about Markham Public Library. Markham Public Library has been extremely busy over the last few years, increasing our digital platforms, digital services and digital products, but it wasn't always like that. The digital divide really caused a level of stress for Markham, our stakeholders, and how we were going to maintain a level of equilibrium when it came to maintaining digital literacy skills and not letting the digital divide really negatively impact the community. So MPL, Markham Public Library, designed a digital literacy strategy designed to navigate this sort of paradox of moving to a digital world, maintaining some traditional services and maintaining the equitable access to services that libraries have always prided themselves on. You know, there was a report years ago that sort of referred to libraries as a great equalizer, as a way of sort of providing a platform for anyone to balance life skills. And so so libraries in the 21st century, one of the pillars is trying to assess the components of the digital divide. And some components are obvious. When we talk about the digital divide, we're talking about things like access to basic technologies. But the speed at which the digital transformation has impacted individuals has been unequal at the best of times. Some people may have the newest smartphone, some people may have older smartphones, some people have the newest Apple computer, some people have older computers. And as we all know, that the types of software that you can use on more modern, newer devices obviously gives you a competitive advantage in the digital skill category. Now, the next main component of the digital divide is the ability to connect. And this is really where we're going to spend some time today reviewing how this affected different communities in Markham. But connectivity speaks to data transfer rates, the speed at which your device works. Are you on an LTE? Are you on 4G? Are you on 5G? And this is where you start getting into the segmentation of the digital haves and digital have-nots. There's a report out the other day. Canada still pays the highest rates of connectivity for mobile phones from the big three carriers over anyone else in the world. And so that sort of that's a branch of the digital divide as well. And focusing more once you have the hardware, once you have access to the technology, once you're connected to the World Wide Web, and once you're running good speeds, you can consume information at a much quicker rate. But it's also how you process that information, what one expert referred to as information awareness, and how you can convert that information awareness into other productivity tools or into potentially lifestyle. As you've seen, gamers, you know, when you're talking about video gamers, they turn that the speed of their connectivity into a career and into a lifestyle. And so those are roughly, you may find slight variations of the digital divide if you were to look it up, and there's many more components to digital literacy. But for Markham purposes, we're gonna focus in on just the sort of technology ownership, digital consumption. And what part of the problem we had was when we were sort of looking into how to go about this, we had internal data sets about our customers. We used Environics to help us understand the level of technology ownership, the digital consumption patterns, the duration and time on devices. And these were the three key preliminary characteristics of the digital divide in Markham that we were most interested in. We also have customer surveys, the user experience, we had them, and we also had a number of internal KPIs that we were monitoring. So one example we had was when we started out looking for indications of what the digital need in Markham was, we found some pretty interesting data. First off, we looked at obviously access on the top of that pyramid, and access to computers in Markham was above 95%, access to smartphones was above 75%, and these are both per household. So when you're looking at rates like this, you're right off the bat, you're sort of thinking, well, that's it, my job's done. Digital divide's not an issue in Markham, and you know, let's move on to another project. And as we dug a little deeper, we found out that the rates of mobile phones without data plans became much higher. And so that sort of speaks to the next level of the digital divide that we talked about in one of the previous slides, was connectivity. And inherent to that is now you're looking at unequal access to information. And that's really where the digital divide starts showing itself in Markham when you sort of get into the digital haves and have-nots. As we talked about, the library really tries to be that great equalizer, it tries to be that balance. And then on the right-hand side, we sort of see the duration of time on devices. And that sort of gave us a real indication of pockets in Markham that have access. And now you're looking at sort of personal numbers, individual numbers, but that gives you an idea of the level of digital, the level of the digital divide in Markham. And so one of the drilling down the next level, when we went to sort of the next level on the pyramid, sort of looking at the information awareness and how individuals might be able to turn that knowledge into some form of productivity, lifelong learning, we looked at household sizes. And this map really gets into how the concentration of households with 5 or more people. And when you start looking at that and you start adding up these variables and you start compounding them one on top of another, you start to see the competition for digital time. And so if you're in a household with 5 people, your connectivity is going to be very difficult unless you have, one of the higher paid plans, unlimited data, that sort of stuff. Even then, your speeds may be a little slow. You may have a couple kids playing video games, and you might have a couple tablets connected. You might have dad might be working upstairs on the laptop and mom's working on the desktop. And now you have all these different competing data flows. And so now everyone's connection's a lot slower. So dad might miss out on an important conversation, important conference, and mom might be missing out on a digital video conference that she's also on. And so now you start seeing the digital haves and digital have-nots start spreading a little more. They start getting further and further apart, and that goes back and that affects the overall health of the community. So our goal at the library was, we took this data and we tried to figure out how best can we use this to support our community. So some of the things that we did, and Environics was extremely helpful in the process all along. They helped us, I can't say enough about the team there. They helped us segment the needs of our residents and to sort of understand the digital experience that our customers go through. And then we also sort of looked at how to sort of map the digital future. It's not so much about how customers have been consuming digital media and digital resources, but it's also about how they're going to continue to expand their use. So that may include things like smart devices. Smart could be anything from a smart refrigerator to smart home security, and that speaks to another level of the digital divide. And this becomes, along the analytics journey, this becomes a succinct iterative process, because once you're done it once, you have to go back, start it again, use what you learned, and then you have to keep refining it. You have to keep adapting the process the whole time. And so the digital strategy that Markham Public Library inputted really gave us a leg up, as COVID hit recently. And the COVID effect really, as it's indiscriminate when it comes to various industries and sectors. The acceleration of digital transformation, I imagine, is exponential for some industries. And as you can see with us, our digital consumption numbers have just skyrocketed. We were closed for some parts of it, but that digital strategy that we sort of analyzed and we looked into how to bridge the digital divide, it really prepared us for this onslaught of demand from our customers for all of our digital services. And some of the outcomes that we have seen, our customers are extremely happy and satisfied with a number of the pillars of our digital strategy. And we see that in our user surveys, our KPIs, obviously, as I just showed, but the outcomes are really what drive the library to see if our strategies are being effective. And when we speak about outcomes, we're talking about a tangible outcome in our customers' lives. So through offering, one example would be by offering a digital, let's say a digital health program. Are our customers more or less likely to engage in enhanced sanitation practices? Are they more aware of health concerns? Are they better prepared to digest information coming at them, be it by social media, or can they reference the proper resources when necessary? These are the outcomes that we really pride ourselves on, and then that we try to measure and keep up with our customers. In conclusion, the three key points. If Shaun talking about the library the whole time didn't really resonate with some of you. The three key points for any analytics journey is that as I said, it's a perpetual journey. It's never going to end. The goal is to learn and refine, and learn and refine, and just keep that cycle going. The next really big key, as I said, I can't say enough good things about the team over at Environics. They've been absolutely incredible, helping us out, help us understand the digital divide, help us understand the digital needs of our consumers, really start breaking down the strategy for Markham Public Library, and sort of really help us hone our resources. And so I really encourage everyone to get out there, partner with anyone you can, ask for help, ask questions. And that will lead you to the last point is be creative. Data and analytics don't live in silos. They don't live in a vacuum. You need, along with your team and the journey, you need to always be able to look at the data and the analytics outside of the box. So I really appreciate everyone who took the time to stop in today, and I look forward to a great discussion here. Thanks again for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation.